All right. Hey guys, Mike here, and you might be familiar with Tim Stewart. I think this is the third or fourth year, Tim, that we've done this. I'm not sure.
I think so. Yeah.
Brick Kids, he's from Impact Nations, and for a couple of years of COVID, I know we couldn't really participate in this, but these guys have built relationships in India with these kids that, as a businessman, for $130, I can't find a better return where you're going to get generations out of this basically indentured servitude. And so anyway, Tim, we're excited. So if you guys can, we do this every time they do it, it's $130. If you can pay for a half of a child, 10 children, 20 children, it's just awesome. So here's Tim Stewart.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having me. I was in India. Actually, I finally got to visit again. We were not able to go during the pandemic, but my wife and I got to go back in April. And while we were there, it was about 45 degrees in the middle of the day while children were still out there making bricks. And sorry, that's 45 degrees Celsius. Yeah, I was going to say I'm a Canadian, so I quick switched back to Celsius when I was in India. But like we're talking like 110 degrees or so. Absolutely insane. So these kids are out there, they're working all day in the hot sun making bricks, and they do that because, as you mentioned, indentured servitude. Basically, family members got into debt years ago, and they're working to try and pay off that debt. But they'll never actually pay it off. Of course, they're paying off basically the interest on that loan forever. But the amazing thing is we've got relationship with the factory owners, and we've built relationship with the families in these communities. And now that's expanding. More and more communities we're getting involved with. And we start by just going in there and either like doing some medical clinics or feeding the hungry and things like that. They're so hungry when we get there. Sometimes we see them mixing brick dust with their food just to try to bulk it up a little bit. That's how hungry they are. And so by meeting some of those practical needs, we begin to just build a relationship with them. And then we can say, hey, we've got an opportunity to send your children to school because the brick factory owner has actually allowed that. And now we got to get parents' permission. And the more we do this, the more parents are eager to get involved because they see that education, of course, is the opportunity to break this cycle and see things change from now on for the next generation of their family. So it's an incredible opportunity. I asked my friend Randeep, who oversees this massive ministry in northern India. He and his team are out there every week feeding these people. I said, hey, how many kids do you want to rescue this year? Just a reminder, so far in the last few years, we've done 1,600 kids. And he said, well, how many can you do? I said, I don't know. He says, well, how about 1,000? Could we do 1,000? I was like, oh my goodness. All right, let's do it. Let's get this on. So beautiful. I'm full of faith. I know God's going to do amazing things. Budget wise, you can do the math. 1,000, that means that's $130,000 we're looking to raise. By God's grace, we have actually raised some of that earlier this year. It's always available on our website and stuff. So people have been giving, but we're still looking to raise about 110,000 of that. So we know that this is going to change everything for the future of these children, and it's going to change it right now. One of the things, by the way, is they get a nutritious meal every day at school. So now it actually lifts a burden for the family because instead of having to find some nutrition for these kids, they're actually going to school and getting a meal every single day from the government. And so that actually makes things a lot easier for the family right immediately as well.
Yeah, and let me just pull up some of the pictures of what you guys done in the past, Tim. So you can see here, like he's talking about these little kids start, I don't know how old they start, but they never get out
5,
of it,
I think.
literally, right?
Yeah.
They never leave the compound.
Yeah.
And then you can see how happy they are. They got their new school shoes. And, I think this picture that you took captures it beautifully. Like, look at his just sincereness at that little age in his eyes. And not sure what's going on, but he knows something special is happening, and obviously over here he's just ecstatic. And so one of the things that what is so awesome about this, Tim, is so you guys for $130, you get them into the program, and then the Indian government subsidizes them for the rest of their education, which what an investment, guys.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah. And the thing is, because these kids, they technically, a lot of them don't even exist on paper as far as the government's concerned, right? So part of that $130 is just going through the process of getting them registered with the government, getting them the paperwork and stuff like that. But you're right. Once they're in, they're subsidized from the government, from various corporations, local corporations that sponsor children and stuff like that. So it's really incredible. A lot of our work is that initial getting them the clothing and stuff. By the way, just one small thing, the clothing that you just saw there that the kids are wearing, those uniforms, the school uniforms, are actually sewed by students from our sewing center, which is across town elsewhere in that city. So we've got widows that are coming from the slums that have no opportunities, that we train them up in sewing, and then we actually hire them to make these uniforms. So that's just really cool to see. Yeah,
another little added benefit. So.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, so a lot of our work is just helping these kids understand what it means to go to school. They've never sat still in classroom and things like that. I remember the first year, they learned the hard way that we have to teach them about shoes, because they don't typically wear shoes, and those are really nice shoes that they get, but they're also toys. So they were like playing games like a version of bowling, or throwing their shoes, trying to knock down bottles and things like that, and they would lose shoes, like throwing them into the field, and they couldn't find them. So we're like, okay, we better do a lesson on how to take care of your shoes. So all those things, it's just so exciting to see life so radically changed for these kids, and I just want to thank everybody who has been involved in the past. You guys are incredible. We couldn't have done it without you, and bluntly, we couldn't do it without you again. So we really do need your participation again. I'm just so thankful for you, and just pray and ask the Lord what He would have you do this time around.
Awesome, bud. And we'll do our part. Well, I'm going to be promoting this as long as it's open. You'll have to tell us when it stops, but guys, the easiest way through our Inspire, if you want, is just go to freedomministries.org. It's all one word, freedomministries.org. And you'll see donate up there. And then you can put in Brick Kids in there, and we'll make sure it gets sent to Impact Nation. So anyway, thanks, my friend. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you.
And we'll get the word out.
You bet. Bless you guys.